Okay, so A24 is releasing yet another what looks to be crazy horror film, just how we like A24. And for that, of course, they have done quite a good amount of teasers and trailers. And I have had music in 3 of them, and it has basically mainly been this track actually. So I figured for educational purposes just to go through and show how they have used some of the different sounds. Because if you don't know, these trailers are cut to music actually. It's not like a film where you write the music to the picture. And the editor who edits the trailer get what we call stems, which is basically it's either a group of instruments like this low synths or a group of percussion, all the percussion, but it could also be an overall ambience stem or something like this, where it's mainly a bunch of different small rhythmic objects. And with these stems, the editors can basically kinda, from an already existing track, they can kinda create their own little tracks. So they could, for example, mute a bunch of the stems and only use a few of them, or they could use just one sound from it. Or they can also kind of cut up all the stems and rearrange it and kind of create their own track from the stems, basically. Which in this case is what they've done and what they usually do with these kind of horror things. So what I've done is I have written this track. It's called Detest. If you want to listen to it in its entirety, you can check it out on the Audiomachine website. Detest. There you can check it out. So I've written this track, and they have kind of used a bunch of ambient stuff and some sound design from it, and kind of cut up their own little pieces for the trailers. So if I have the trailer right here, we kind of go. One of my sounds kind of start out the whole jam, right? So it's
some people
right there from the start. This is my little piece of sound design. Yeah. And we move on.
believe the spirit stays in the body for months after death.
And already now we have some new sounds coming in. We have cymbal bow up here. This repeats, the same sound repeats again. And underneath that we have this cool little bed of strings and synths, basically. Very ambient, very low key, actually perfect to have dialogue over, because it's not so present in the mid and high mids. So it's really perfect for dialogue, which is why intros of trailers always seem to have this kind of bed. And we move on. And we have another little sound, as a kind of a delayed knock of mine. Yeah.
Oliver lost his family just like you.
And we start to get this little cool sound. And underneath that, as if you kinda take a look at this, then right now the editor has used a lot of the intro stuff, basically. But also underneath all this, whoops.
You guys,
Does he look like Andy?
he's
Starts to come something from a later part in the track. There's kind of this low rumbly thing underneath. And then as we kind of progress into it, we start to get this low, vibey, wobbly kind of bass sound, right?
beautiful boy. Just needed someone who could give him special care.
again, they use very clever editing too, because I have some delay on this one, which is also for all those that are aspiring to do this music for trailers, which everyone can basically do if they want to put in the work. Stuff like this. Try to close your eyes and think if you had to edit video. This is so easy to edit to. The edit points are so clear. So this is something we have to think about when we do the music for these trailers, is give them very edit-friendly music to work with, right?
You lock you in, Ollie?
And then again, we kind of move on, and they have started to use another sound of mine, which is this one.
He's an angel. It's beautiful.
And another cool sound, which is present a few places, but mostly over here. At least I know they edited that up in some way, because it is a sound, and we we got the confirmation from it, right?
Andrew does beautiful things.
And again, reuse of this one, and we start to get more of this. They're kind of increasing that into the whole thing. Yeah. And this is a bunch of riser material underneath it all. And risers are basically, this is just a random riser. Stuff like that underneath all this to build tension, and most typically they will use a lot of other sound libraries to also kind of beef things up, right? That's not mine.
Did I do it right? We can bring up.
And there again, you see there's something very clear happening in the edit.
We can bring.
Right when the letters kind of turn around, we get this again. Right?
Back.
And that's basically the trailer. So for this huge track with a bunch of and tons of different things, we have percussion layers, mega nasty big horror Brahms sound effects, and so on. And all this good nonsense. Basically, what they chose to use is a bunch of beds for the whole thing. Some main sounds. This. And no, that they actually didn't use that. So and these ones. Right, so still a lot of stuff left in the track for that they could have used, but this was what was working for the editor, and hence these, instead of the whole track getting licensed, they license the individual stems and sounds and so on for a certain second or minute use. So this is basically my track Detest. Again, if you want to hear it in full, it's on the Audiomachine website. There's nothing more to it. I hope you watched the movie. If you're into that kind of stuff, it really looks like it could be some serious good horror stuff. I'm watching for sure. That's very clear to me. So, anyways, thank you for watching this, and have a very nice